Okay, so I decided to show you guys on YouTube my deck, my modern deck that I have right now that I'm working on. Probably not going to be the finished product I'm showing you here, but you know. Alright, so my creatures are on the top row, my non-creatures are in the second row, my planeswalkers are in the third row. I know they're non-creatures, but I separate them out from my other non-creature spells, and my land are on the bottom. So, let's just take a little bit of a look at the creatures here. Beguiler of Wills, an Eldrazi Shieldmate, 2 Axebane Guardians, 2 Gatecreeper Vines, 4 Ondu Giants, 4 Overgrown Battlements, 2 Spawnsires of Ulamog, and a Broodmate Dragon, which comes out with another 4/4 red dragon creature with flying. That's a token. I have 2 Diabolic Tutors, 2 Disentombs, an Essence Feed, a Vigor Mortis, 4 Brood Birthings, 2 Awakening Zones, 4 Growth Spasms, 2 Into the Wilds, a Reclaim, a Recollect, and a Spider Umbra, in case having only 2 instances of flyers isn't enough. Then, of course, I have my 2 Planeswalkers. I have Gideon Jura, if this can focus. And those are his abilities. Get into that a little bit later. And I have Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, and those are his abilities, which I will also get into those a little bit later. Alright, so I have 3 swamps, 4 mountains, 6 forests, and 2 Simic Gates, 4 Transguild Promenades, and a Rupture Spire. Now, without the basic plains or islands in here, this might be a little bit difficult, you'd think. But to get the plains out, or islands out, the blue mana from the Simic Gates, I have 2 Gatecreeper Vines, and I have Axebane Guardians, 2 of them, which add X mana in any combination of colors to my mana pool, where X is the number of creatures with Defender I control. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures with Defender I can get out. So that could potentially just take that problem completely away. Alright, okay, so this Spawnsire here. 2 Spawnsires of Ulamog. And let me just get this out of the sleeve real quick for you. Better view out on it. Kind of hard for a camera to see through plastic, apparently. Alright, so Spawnsire of Ulamog. Has Annihilator 1 whenever this creature attacks if any player sacrifices a creature. But if you're familiar with Eldrazi, you already know about Annihilator. So it's tap 4 mana, or feed it 4 mana. Put 2/0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens onto the battlefield. They have sacrificed this creature, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. That's great for his second ability. Pay 20 mana, cast any number of Eldrazi cards you own from outside the game without paying their mana costs. Now you might be wondering why I would put 2 of these in when I could cast the other one for free. And the reason is that it's really hard to get just 1 card out in a 60 card deck. Of course, it's easier when I have 2 Diabolic Tutors and I have mana ramp to get out these lands really quickly. But it's still not too horribly easy to get just 1 card out. In fact, I don't think I've ever played Gideon yet in this deck, so there's a fine example. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what other Eldrazi do you have? Well, here's the answer over here, on this table. I have, see here, what do I have? 4 Dread Drones, 4 Emrakul's Hatchers, 4 Raptious Ones, 4 Kozilek's Predators, only 2 Nest Invaders. The shop I was buying from only had 2 at the time. I could probably get more. 4 Hands of Emrakul, 2 Pathrazer of Ulamog, those are kind of spendy, 1 Ulamog's Crusher, I couldn't find very many out there, and 1 non-creature Eldrazi card, Tribal Sorcery, Skittering Invasion. And I'm thinking, if I happen to get those out, that deck's doing really good. If I don't, on the other hand, well, let's just look at my Planeswalkers here. Well, first, Beguiler of Wills, now that I'm thinking about it. So let me get this out of the sleeve for you, too. I take all my cards out of the sleeves, but it'd take quite a while and I didn't feel like doing it. Just put this thing together. Alright, so it has tap, gain control of target creature with power less than or equal to the number of creatures you control. Now I have a lot of things that get out Eldrazi spawn creature tokens. This gets out 3, this gets out up to 3 or just 1 depending on if there's any out or not. This gets 1 out each upkeep of each one of my upkeeps. This gets out 1 when it's cast. This of course can get out the 2, but I probably won't be using it for that ability. Well, at least not for Beguiler of Will's ability. Then of course I have my Planeswalkers, which I will also get onto their sleeves for you here. My Nicol Bolas Planeswalker is really old. I got it from the Johnny versus Nicol Bolas duel deck, so it's kind of falling apart here. You might be able to notice that a little bit. This corner's come up here, let me show you. That's not good. I can't sell that, so that's going to stay with me for a while. So Gideon's abilities are +2. During target opponent's next turn, creatures that player controls attack Gideon, if able. Gideon Jar, if able. So, it's kind of a weird +2, you know. If you have enough Eldrazi spawn creature tokens out, though, it doesn't matter at all. And his 0, which I will probably be using more than his +2, is kind of what I got him for. Till end of turn, he's a 6/6 human soldier creature that's still a Planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him. And I have a -2 ability on him, destroy target tap creature, which the +2 is 4. He's not really a normal Planeswalker. Normal Planeswalkers have 1+ ability and 2- abilities, usually. But I like his 0 ability. You can't use it the first turn he's out because he'll still have Summoning Sickness, but it's worth it. Alright, so Nicol Bolas, he's been out for a while. They've never done a different version of Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. So it's +3, destroy target non-creature permanent. I'll be using that a lot to ramp up to his -9, but his -2 is gain control of target creature. Now, if I have Beguiler of Wills out, I won't ever have to use that. And then his -9 is Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, deals 7 damage to target player. That player discards 7 cards, then sacrifices 7 permanents. So he kind of goes with the Eldrazi theme of making your opponent sacrifice permanents. I have Elgwald Shieldmate, which has Soul Bond. Getting out of its sleeve for you again. There we are. And normally I Soul Bond this to Beguiler of Wills, but if there's a Spawnsire out, I'll Soul Bond it to that instead. And its Soul Bond is, as long as it's paired with another creature, both creatures have hexproof. So my opponents can't do anything that targets them. Which is always nice when you have Beguiler of Wills out, because then you can just, oh, I don't care. I'm going to take control of that, oh, and that, and that, and that, and that. And that, and I have your entire army on my side now. Yeah, that was fun. So, yeah, that's my deck list. Leave any comments below, and please, bow down and Sakrib.